In today's video, we're catching a really early flight from Jakarta at 5 in the morning to experience the iconic Singapore Airlines Boeing 777 from Jakarta to Singapore. Let's fly. Good morning, and it really is early morning. It's 3 in the morning. It's Alex from Liftover Travel, and today travelling on Singapore Airlines in the 777. You can probably hear the tiredness in my voice, or perhaps that was the air conditioning from last night. Anywho, today's journey on the iconic Boeing 777-300 from Jakarta to Singapore will take approximately 1 hour and 55 minutes, covering a distance of 560 miles. Being 3 in the morning and a Boeing 777, you can imagine how exhaustingly long the queue was for check-in. I joke, it took all of 10 seconds. After checking in, I head towards immigration, past this beautiful installation to celebrate Ramadan, and a quick tour through the indoor garden. I should add, I was staying in Jakarta during Ramadan, so it's been pretty quiet. Obviously this isn't my first time with Singapore Airlines, but what I'm quite excited about is I managed to get one of the bulkhead seats, and as you'll see, that gives you so much more footroom. In the meantime, it's off the lounge, which is provided by Plaza Premium. All the shops were closed, except for this one restaurant. Lucky, because I wasn't sure where I was going until I found this sign. Immigration was funny, and it did give me a laugh, because the officer was really annoyed, and that's because the international queue wasn't staffed. It later turned out it was staffed, but the guy was simply slouched in his chair on his phone. I had no prior expectations for the lounge, but actually, it's pretty good. Nice furniture, modern, and really tall ceilings. The only thing was they were playing the same song over and over again on repeat. This felt like torture, so I went to the management with an email. I wonder if I went too far by saying, why are you torturing your staff and your guests? It took over 10 minutes, but I then noticed that someone was trying to interrupt and turn off the music. Otherwise, the lounge was a wonderful experience. If you've been to the lounge before and that's caused you PTSD, my apologies. Being a third-party lounge, there's a good selection of drink, and there's a small variety of food options. I did manage to get this sort of pot noodle-like Asian dish, which was actually really tasty. I was saving myself, however, for business class, so chose not to eat anything else. So the lounge was pretty good, nice choice of food, lovely ambience and the chairs in there. The only thing was they were playing the same song over and over. The staff have no control over it. I felt a bit sorry for them because that's basically borderline torture. So I actually arrived slightly before boarding time, and the plane had already begun boarding. Unfortunately, as it's night time, I didn't sadly get any footage of the plane. First and business class on Singapore's Boeing 777-300 are both laid out in a 1-to-1 configuration. There's 8 seats in first, 42 in business, and 228 in economy. Sadly, I couldn't bring myself to pay for first class, but the seat, while not particularly new, looks very private and really comfortable. Maybe one day. Business class is divided into 2 sections, 3 rows in front of the galley and 9 behind. If you're flying long haul, you'll definitely want to sit in the quieter front section. As guided by the beautifully dressed and welcoming cabin crew, this is my seat for today's flight, 15K. Whilst the legroom is not restricted, it could be an unwise choice because the toilet is right in front. 7 days ago, I got to try the same product on Singapore's Airbus A350, and here's the controversial and much talked about setup for the footrest area. Before departing, I've gone for a very boring but refreshing glass of water. And whilst enjoying this, I'm beginning to appreciate that the setup looks a little bit dated. I do know that Singapore Airlines is currently working on a new product, probably with doors.
May differ from that on other aircraft. Please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing.
And after what I find a very moving safety video, I really miss Singapore, we make our way towards the runway, where we'll continue the seat tour after the takeoff. On your right is where you will find the tray table, and a small but very useful cubbyhole. The remote for the in-flight entertainment is essential because this product does not feature a touchscreen. Out of sight is a storage area, which cannot be used during takeoff or landing. 2 USB ports and a reading light. There are plenty of buttons to adjust the comfort of the seat, but it cannot be made flat. This requires the seat to be folded down as previously demonstrated by the lovely cabin crew on our flight from Milan to Barcelona. You can do this yourself, but as the cabin crew manager said, "Let us do this for you please, because it makes more of an experience, like a 5-star hotel with a turn down service." Being such a short flight, you do get this lovely plush and large pillow, but no blanket. You probably can request one though. Not too long after takeoff, we were treated to this beautiful, yet somehow moody sky, just in time for the meal service. Here's a copy of the menu. The stir-fried rice sounds delicious, but unlike the previous video, I'm going to try something different. So I'm having the mushroom omelette, which comes with chicken sausage, tomatoes, sautéed broccoli and roasty potatoes. On the side is my water, a very fresh tasting orange juice. You also get complimentary fruit, which was really delicious and fresh, and some condiments should you wish to go down the bakery option. It didn't rock my world, but was tasty and about right for a 1 hour 55-minute flight. Singapore Airlines has a nice selection of both movies new and old, TV and music. I just wish the screen was a little bit closer and a little bit lower. The system, however, is very easy to use. As for the headphones, these aren't branded, but they do carry the Singapore Airlines logo. They're very comfortable, good sound, and they do a good job at cutting out the background noise. With 30 minutes to go, and the view getting more intense and beautiful by the second, it's time to visit the airplane bathroom, which is quite the treat on Singapore Airlines. For an old plane, the bathroom feels quite posh. There's a nice mix of Singapore Airlines colours, and somehow this makes it feel a little bit Art Deco glamorous. I love the amenities which are produced by Penhaligon to London. Sadly, no amenity kits because the flight is too short. As I stare out the window, I'm reminded of how lucky I am to do what I do, and how magical the view of the clouds is, and how it's about to end. If you're a fan of engine noise, you'll love the sound of those massive Rolls-Royce Trent 892s. If not, just enjoy the landing. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. While walking through the terminal, I did manage to catch this wonderful view of the A380. We are planning to fly this next year in quite an exciting way, but for now, that's our little secret. And finally, it's time for a very sleepy conclusion at Singapore Changi Airport. So that was my flight, Singapore Airlines on the 777. It's a product that's beginning to show its age a little bit, but I'd still say it's a pretty impressive product. And the width of the seat is still quite amazing. But perhaps in the next few years they might think about, refurbishing or changing it. It's also extremely comfortable, plush, and has a generous amount of width. The privacy is reasonable, but I'd still probably pick Cathay Pacific over this for a route from, say, Europe to Asia.